Frog God, Frog God. Using a hammer, a crowbar, and a shield, our group of Songbird adventurers, having learned the dangerousness of war horses and ambushes, bury their comrade Belemir in a fairly shallow grave here out in the wood, and tucking him neatly among the roots of a tree out here. Does this druid craft do anything for helping you guys get him a nice place to be dead?
Maybe it does a lot of things. Hold on.
I want to actually, as we're finishing up with services and all, I'm going to take a stone and I'm going to take my my smith's tools, and I'm going to chip a dwarven rune of, basically rest and peace and such kind of rune, and I'm going to place it as a headstone type thing on top of
So yeah, both you and Krieg work out some headstones for it.
If there are some flowers around the grave, I will use my druid craft to make them blossom.
Ooh, pretty.
Belemir, there you are with a little daylight shining down. You get a Dwarven rune. You got Krieg who worked on a little bit of a headstone for you. There are flowers, and the flowers, seem to spell out, Belemir Gnomish.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Mm.
My soul thanks you, and you can't hear a thing I'm saying, but that's okay.
I will not come back and haunt you.
Now I hear that there's a
He was
half-orc that comes in and thanks us.
he was the best of hider go seekers there was in the land.
He taught me so much. Learned to hide. I learned to seek. And you guys take a little while doing a short rest. Thorad, at this point, you've been up for probably over 20 hours,
Okay.
and you didn't necessarily get the greatest sleep yesterday.
Okay.
And
We should probably move into the trees and camp.
Yeah. Move into the trees and let's see if we can before we camp.
Gidney, one thing I will let you know: the horses will tell you that you're almost there when you were talking to them.
Great. How far?
Just through the trees.
Shh. We're almost there. Francis told me so.
Find a high rise over the caves that they camp outside of, and see about there and keep an eye out. See who we can pick off.
Are you talking to Gidney or to the GM?
I'm talking to both. I'm talking to the group and the GM. Basically, start looking because they were talking about being outside a cave.
I don't know. Why don't you go look and find out?
Well, let's go look.
No, you. I stay here. You can take Pocket with you. Well, no, you can't. I lied. You go by yourself.
So
yeah, I guess I'm a loud clanking dwarf though, so I don't know. Krieg, do you want to do the scouting
Yeah.
for us?
Actually, I'll go scout since I don't wear any armor.
Mhm.
I should be quite silent.
See if you
So
can
I'll go
find
on
us
foot.
that, the cave.
Yep, I'll leave the horses here and I'll go on foot and see if I can find the edge of the tree line, see if I can see the caves, get a look around, and see if there's any kind of high ground above the caves.
sure. Go ahead. So you look down. There is an open clearing. There is a basically like a cliff face. And go ahead and give me your perception check. In the clearing, you see a number of tents as well as a corral with a bunch of horses in it. You count 6 tents, and for the horses,
5,000,000.
I opened up the wrong file. There we. It's definitely over a dozen. It's hard to see because there's the horses are always moving around such, but it's over a dozen. Definitely be sure of that.
Okay. And so the caves are in a cliff face.
Yep.
And so that sounds like it's a really tall.
Yeah.
Okay. Impractical for us to use to try and use it as
if
a
you
watch area.
if you guys have somebody who is really good with range, they might be able to rain some sort of devastation down upon people from up there. But anything that's going to be a semi short range or inaccurate, they're probably going to be able to take cover easily within the cave, or cling to the cliff side as they move out and eventually circle around to where you guys.
Okay. All right. I'll head back. So I'll get back to the group. I found we're super close. The caves are just beyond the trees. There is an encampment outside. There's a bunch of people and horses milling around. Hard to keep a head count. There's like 6 tents out there though. So the encampment outside is fairly small, and then there's a cliff face with the caves are in the cliff face. So it might be wise to camp here or move off a bit away from where this ambush area is, since this is where they're going to come back and look from, the one that escaped. He's going to tell people that we're out here. Why don't we move off and camp for the night? Make it a cold camp, no fire, and
Agreed.
try and rest up, recuperate a little bit, and we
Set
can,
up some watches, see if
start.
we can pick any of them
Yeah, set up
off.
some watches and start going in there. GM, we don't happen to hear any crunching of leaves, do we?
Oh, with your perception check of 9, no, you haven't really heard any crunches.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
let's
didn't know
find a
if anyone
defensible.
I didn't know if anyone was approaching our current position. So
Is anyone approaching their current position?
Eventually here.
Eventually here.
So let's find a defensible area and.
I'm so close.
Okay, so yeah, let's find a defensible area and set up our watches and cold camp. I want to basically be on up a tree, on a low tree, basically, heavy, sturdy branch coming out that's kind of low, but just above 5 feet up when I'm watching. Gives me
the
a
rest
little
of us
vantage.
call that a stump.
I want to be on top of a stump.
I want to turn into a Wolverine and make a burrow, and then turn back into a gnome and sleep in my burrow.
Okay. Wolverines have good claws for digging. And by the way, if we do find a good Wolverine write-up that seems good, we can probably use that. But yeah, wolf is what we're gonna go with for the moment.
For watches, I'm gonna offer to take last watch, and that way, actually no, I guess I have to take middle watch or first watch. I can take middle watch. Wake me up for middle watch. That's the darkest.
I'll take first.
So Pex will be the last watch.
I don't understand.
When we were with the caravan and in the middle of the night, people took turns staying up so that when the bandits came or the animals came, we'd have warning and we could fight them off. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're gonna stay up as one of them this time because we're shorthanded.
I don't like it, but okay.
Okay. Well, if you want, you can have Francis or the others watch if you think that you can trust them to wake you.
Deal. Say no more.
Bunk down, Brandon.
Sure. So yeah, you guys spend a while relaxing. There you guys are, sleeping it off. I think you guys had set a watch and such, but yes, the time passes as you guys all sleep, recover your abilities and such, and the new day dawns upon you. It feels
More
weird
wine.
waking out without a hangover.
I need more wine.
Wait, they actually let me sleep through the night with my snoring? Wow. Okay, I get up. I wake up. Start with my eyes half open looking for my water skin of ale.
You instead find a horse snout nudging you and lipping.
Freak. Did you steal my ale?
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's fine.
I'll pet the snout that, Gidney, I think you need a shave on your forehead. Oh, it's the horse.
Francis.
Good berry at her. Not kidney!
Okay, I think Pex might break me tonight. In the condition I'm in, Pex might break me.
Working as intended.
Are you okay over there, Thorad?
Wow. Throw another good berry.
Did I just change to the same color as my shirt?
Pretty close.
You're trying.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not certain exactly what triggered that, but okay then. So, cutting over. Conan Ananda. You are. Were you coming from Tent City?
I am, but I'm following along, watching what's going on. I'll probably join combat when I go and see them engage.
Okay, so why don't everybody here go ahead and throw me a perception check? Cool, the dice are working.
I think I still see Francis in front of my face.
No,
Francis, that's not for you to eat. Push him away. That good berry apparently is making him lick my face.
Gidney, you definitely get the feeling that the forest is at a state of unease as you are waking up. Oh yeah, that was right. Gidney asked the horses keep guard over you guys last night.
That's why I'm getting nuzzled by one right now. I figured.
Yeah, the forest. You aren't hearing the normal sounds of the forest.
It's quiet, guys. Too quiet.
Krieg, after he mentions that, you kind of do notice that some of the time you hear more forest sounds than this, and maybe it's the fact that the dwarf has been a little noisy, but you've heard more forest sounds even when the dwarf is singing trail songs.
We should move quietly and check out the camp and see if they are the cause
Okay.
of this weird unease.
Start pulling my clanky armor over my head.
Now, it looks like there's the cave system and stuff. I don't know if we're going to need the horses. Why don't we tie them
We need
off
horses.
here? Do we?
Mm-hmm.
We might be stealthier without them.
We'll die without them. They saved you last time. Barely.
Barely. All right, we'll bring the horses.
Yay!
Let's go.
All right, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk mine. I forgot what mine's called.
I don't have mine with me, so.
Yours is Marcel.
Mine is Marcel. That's right, Marcel. There she is.
And Tito is in mourning. You guys head off and go up, and you guys were probably about 5 minutes away from the camp last night when you encountered the picket line. Basically, you guys move forward. How are you approaching?
I'll take lead. Weapon out.
Well, do we? I don't think it's wise for us to go into the camp openly.
No,
I mean,
I don't think so either. I'm still.
what does the grounds and everything look like? Is there a way to sneak and get up to the cave entrance, or is it pretty?
You guys have a fairly, probably about 100 feet off the forest kind of stops as the ground gets rougher. You have some small shrubs and such like that that by all means you can use to help your stealth and all, but they aren't constant or common. But you can, do running between shrubs to gain some cover. You took a look down there yesterday, Krieg, and so you've got about 100 feet between there and that cliff wall. In that the space between, huddled pretty close to the cliff wall where it looked like an entrance to a cave was. There were 6 tents. The tents are large tents. They could house a few people in them at a time, as well as a horse pen. You estimated that the horses had more than a dozen, and saw some people moving around in the camp, but you did not have a great count of how many total bodies they had.
My horse army will grow.
So do we know if there's any coverage? So is there any visible direction on directionality on the way that the camp is set up? So do they expect basically to be exiting out of a certain area and therefore be structuring for that, or do they expect, or is it just wherever people want to set up?
Well, like I say, there's 6 tents clustered around the entrance.
Right.
I'm not certain if that's answering what you're actually asking me or not. I'm a little uncertain.
So clustered around the entrance, is it like 3? There's an opening and then 3, and so therefore there's this area where they're expecting to funnel people in and out, or is it basically
like an avenue?
Yeah. Is there an equal spacing on every?
2 to the right side of where Krieg thinks that the cave is. Basically, the cliffside kind of it's uneven, but it concaves at one point, and so there's heavy shadows there. But you think that there's a cave end in those shadows.
Okay.
And so there's 2 to the right of that, and then 4 to the left, and the temporary horse paddock is set up to the left of that as well.
Does it look like there's a guard presence? Like, is it a military camp, or does it just look like they're just squatters outside?
Definitely doesn't look. Do you have much experience with military stuff?
No, I'm just looking to see if there's guys with pole arms and armor and walking a beat and that kind of thing. I'm comparing it to city guards.
No, there were not when you were seen.
What about now?
So you guys are going up to the forest line?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to try and be as quiet as I can. I'm going to be basically making sure that I'm not the one peeking out to look so much. I'm going to try and keep my form covered by standing behind a tree.
Cool. Why don't all 4 of you go ahead and just give me a group stealth check? We'll go ahead and take the 2 middle roll.
Okay.
Not Krieg. 10 and 11, so nobody's making exceptional noises, basically. You guys, pull up to the edge of the woods and are looking. And yeah, you've got some kind of a little bit of rolling, not perfectly flat land between here and there with some scrub bushes The horses, like I say, are off to the left. They definitely seem to be paying a bit of attention outside, but they're not walking a beat. There's two guys that are actively looking out from the tents to keep an eye out, and there's one guy that's over paying attention to the horses.
Oh my gosh, I just had the worst thought in my head.
The worst thought.
Are they turned toward us or away from us?
They are looking away from the cave, so towards you guys. They go ahead and bring up skills here.
Brandon, too many hours of Assassin's Creed had me go, maybe someone should whistle.
Just thinking about playing my pan flute, but
Go ahead and give me insight checks.
All of us?
Get 22. Everybody else is in the mid to high teens. Gidney, you definitely get the feeling that these guys are not paying the most attention. They're probably out there, kind of leaning up against their a stick or something, kind of dozing where they are, not really paying the most attention to the woods or anything. Not fully asleep, but inattentive.
Creek, can I do it? Can I do it?
No, not yet. What if we did this? What if Thorad wore a big cloak to kind of disguise him, and Gidney, you just kind of get as small and hide as well as you can, and then I'll ride tall in the saddle, and we'll just slowly ride up as if we belong here. We'll just kind of slowly roll up until we can get right there, and then maybe take them by surprise.
What? Well, which one of you had the is carrying all those emblems? Pass me one of them. I'll make sure it's hanging. Another thing we can do is if Gidney's really quiet, maybe, hey Gidney, I don't think it's very nice of them to be keeping those horses prisoner. Do you? Maybe you should go let them free.
Yeah, maybe we can start a stampede if we can get over there.
Poor friends.
I get a William Wallace moment here, but let's go.
Okay, so it sounds like that's the plan. I'm going to pretend to be human-ish, and Gidney's going to sneak off and go and unleash some horses and see if that can cause us some distraction. And I'm going to, have that symbol visible on the outside of my clothes.
Yeah, appear to slump over a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help kind of disguise your height. But we'll just kind of start walking, we'll be on horseback, but walking slowly as if this is just what we do. This is fine.
So that's Krieg and Thorad are going to ride in on horse.
Uh-huh.
And Gedney will be riding in on horse, but he can like hold on to his saddle and be kind of, off the saddle, but holding onto the saddle horn, on the stirrup, on the opposite side until he can get close enough to the corral, and then he could maybe leap into the corral and talk to the horses and get them released, and maybe they can start a stampede or something that could distract most of those folks out there.
Gidney?
Yes, Gidney?
Well, can I? I'm not that strong.
Oh, hang off the saddle?
Correct.
It's more of a ride check than it is a strength check. It's more of a skill, skill to be able to ride sideways on that for a short time.
Yeah. Well, also, you've got a foot in the stirrup, like John's saying, and a hand on the horn. And you might not be that strong, but you also don't weigh that much.
Yeah, it's an old cowboy move. You see it on all sorts of, so drop to the side.
And I could hold on to his horse's reins so that it's walking right next to my horse. So I'll also be able to help obscure.
All right. So Gidney, I'm going to give you advantage and a +5 on a stealth check. Thorad or Krieg, one of you guys gets a deception check, and you will also have advantage on this. I love your plan coming into this.
Okay. I think
I
think that Krieg's better at at the deception than I am.
I have a pretty good deception, I think. So you said advantage +5, so I have to click those buttons first?
He's not. You don't have a +5. Gidney has the +5. You just click the advantage first.
Hey, Gidney, they don't even know that you're still on the horse.
Yippee-ki-yay!
You guys come in, and let me go ahead and grab all first. And Conan Ananda, what's going on with you right now?
So Conan is going to be sitting on the outskirts of the camp. He's been kind of watching them all morning, trying to go and become one with the bush, if you will, and really get a sense of, what is their pattern? Do they go and march around the camp in a certain order, or do they just kind of hang out? What seems to be the normal order of things? And so he's got a pretty good feel for that now. And so he's just waiting because he knows that the party's behind him and that they have taken out some of the other bandits earlier. And so he's kind of waiting for them to make their move because he wants to go and kind of walk in as the cavalry, if you will.
The unhorsed cavalry.
The unhorsed cavalry, which is really, for him, it's really frustrating because he is a horseman. Someday he'll have a horse.
Someday my horse will come.
Oh dear, we are playing musical chairs tonight, aren't we?
Yep, everybody get up. Round and round, round they go.
I heard Gidney has a new anthem, Believe by Cher.
No, Turn Back Time.
Turn Back Time? But if she's your new deity, don't you have to sing Believe at that point?
No, because I already believe.
Oh.
He doesn't have to sing it.
Do you guys have that map?
Yes, I do, and I have the whole line of sight stuff active too.
Okay, so
Mine is blood.
yes, because you're not quite on it yet.
Perfect.
So I will. You guys, go ahead and just move yourselves left to right on the map. You could just use the arrow keys, and you'll have a decent idea for that layout.
You'll want to select yourself.
Yes, and so over there is where all those horses are.
So many.
Right?
So many horses. See, so many horses being held prisoner. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of horses. This line of sight thing's pretty cool to see and unsee. Okay, well.
So I only have so much room on the map.
Mhm.
It's not the greatest to run the fight off of for this area, but it is decent or for whatever. And so you guys are coming with your little the two manacles prominently displayed so that they can see that we're one of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And where are you riding toward?
So Gidney, as I understand, well, we'll let Gidney go first because he's
Gidney
going
is
elsewhere.
the unhorsed horse, though.
Okay.
Are you just going to let a horse walk off?
Well, the idea was we were going to get him close to the corral so that he could let the horses loose and, he can talk to them, we've learned. So then we would continue on after that.
So you guys are riding up to the corral is what you're saying?
Yes, we're riding up to the corral. Riding up to the corral, which also seems like a good place to be stashing our horses. So it's a logical place for us to be heading. We're heading to...
Logical, even. Believable, one might say.
Careful, Brandon. I might turn bright red again.
Yeah, the guys kind of come awake and all, and you definitely see them yawn and stretch as they're, being more aware of what's going on. They just kind of, nod at you and don't seem all that concerned right now. One of them calls out, "You seen Derek?"
I'll just wave. Nah.
Think they went off get drunk
and fist in the air.
Yeah, you guys are able to ride over to the paddock. What are you guys doing at that point? Nobody's challenging you. They just kind of called that out.
Okay. Well, get Gidney up to the mechanism, and I'll dismount. Well, no, I don't want to dismount because I want to look as tall as I can. So I'll be the last to dismount. But yeah, get Gidney up to that gate as well as we can, and I'll just wait at that point for the other two.
I scurry in the middle. Can I move under them, or is it hard?
Under horses?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay, I go to the very middle of the horse tribe, and I cast Speak with Animal. And then I carefully explain the concept of freedom to horses.
You rolled beautifully on your stealth check. What are the other two doing while Gidney does that? These horses do not have their saddles on or anything like that. The Gidney, it's pretty offensive to you actually coming in here. These horses have very little space to really move about. I mean, it's not like that they're just kind of like a cow in a stall that has nowhere. But there's so many of them, and it's a fairly small space that they can walk around and such, but they can't break into any sort of good stride or anything like that.
Well, that's why I told Gidney. Isn't it wrong that they are being held prisoner like this? So I'm going
What are Krieg and Thorad doing?
I think you saw where Krieg was moving, and I'm going to basically feign that I'm following Krieg, but I'm going to hide behind that tent so the guards lose sight of me.
So over towards the guard that's near the stables, and I can see there's another guard there. And while I'm walking over there, I'm going to start taking a drink from my from one of the wines that I use as a component for sleep. And as I take that draft, and then I let it down, I'll do the antic for that spell, which is I just kind of and spray a fine mist of wine out as the spell, kind of goes out like a cloud to start doing sleep. So I want to target these two guys, but hopefully it'll cover more people in tents and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, hold on. Better not to cough on Mike. You did see that one of these guys did just walk out of one of the tents and such. And, since there's people are calling out and all, there's definitely a little bit of activity you can tell in some of the tents. So.
But yeah, I'm going to try and sleep and see how many I can get of this entire crowd,
So, sleep, 1 action, range 90 feet, spell sends creatures in a magical slumber, creatures within 20-foot point. So go ahead, and if you right-click, you should be able to draw. There should be like a pencil with a stack of papers as one of your things. Go ahead and just point me to what square while drawing that you are going to center that sleep on.
I right-click, and all I have is rotate right, rotate left, and delete token.
Oh, don't click on a token. Just click on the map.
Oh, that does it. All right, drawing, got it. And then what do I do?
Enter the drawing mode, which I think it's the south and then the south again on it, and then just go ahead and make a line. Just so I think it's just left click and pull like what I just did. Though maybe you don't see it. I just made a red slash like that.
Yeah, I did. Oopsie. All right, I want it to be centered. Well,
I'm hungry.
Son of a biscuit. Well, while he's doing that, could Gidney please read out loud his speech?
Yeah, I do. I want Gidney to do that in just a second. I just want to see where the thing is. If drawing is just given too much trouble or something, just go ahead and put yourself kind of where you want it centered, and then we'll move you back to where you want to be.
Select.
See, I typed it so I wouldn't have to.
Well, too bad. You have to read it. It's called role-playing. It's not called typing.
There's a portion of the audience.
I think I'm going to try and
Okay, that's
center
true.
it
That's
like
fair.
right here on this corner of the tent, hoping to get the contents of the tent and the 2 men that are outside.
Let's go ahead and listen to Gidney give us his best Shakespearean Braveheart-worthy speech for horse.
Hold on.
And to be fair, though, you're right. A portion of the audience would disagree with me on that, and that's fair. But it's also, we're not playing play-by-post. So,
Play by toast.
Just making Gidney
Hey, fight, and you may die. Run, and you'll live, at least for a while. And dying in your meadows, many years from now, would you be willing to trade all those days from this day to that for just a chance, just one chance to come back here and tell our enemies they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom? As I raise my arms and hope the horses charge or some shit.
Okay, I love this speech. Do you get, is animal handling just the way that druids are interacting with animals, or do they get a wild empathy type ability?
I get, hold on, there is a animal thingy abilities. Here we go. I do not get it yet, so I don't have anything for outside of the skill animal handling for animals other than speak with the animal at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let you give your animal handling. You've got advantage for an excellent, inspiring speech to drive horses to war.
They are war horses, I hope.
Hear your dice roll is awesome.
21. That is very nice.
Your kung fu is very strong.
My Google fu is very strong.
Nice. So...
I just hope they murder everybody. And
So, in response, the big, strong, leader type of it responds, rears back up with a neigh. Come, my friends, the horses are going to war. It is likely we go to our doom. The last run of the horses! And,
he starts playing in the background.
and they start busting down through the poor paddock. That it's not a solid wood fence or anything like that. It's more like a leather guide rope and such like that the horses have just been trained not to. Gidney, how are you not going to get trampled in all this?
Jump.
Hold on, you have to ask that there was... Was there a different answer?
Turn into a bird, but yeah.
Was there a different answer than jump for him? Have you met? Have you met Gidney?
So you're gonna have your spell cast and then,
Jump on one of the horses?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna try to jump and jump
get-
from horse to horse until I can get on land again.
So these horses, all of a sudden start going berserk. Krieg drops his sleep spell. Let's go ahead and see those. Is it 5d8 worth of hit points you get?
Yep. Then so I click on the D8 and oops, that was wrong. I right click.
What are you trying to
On the
do?
D8 to pick it up, and then right click 4 times, and that'll give you 5d8. Had 3 really good ones, and then 2 that pretty much crapped out on you, but comes out decent. Alright, so 24. So let me track down hit point. Okay.
So in the meantime, while we've got the horses going berserk, we've got a whole bunch of them dropping to sleep. I've got a large drum, and I'm gonna start beating on it with its war rhythm in the brush outside of camp.
I thought you were supposed to be on our side, so why are you trying to wake up those sleepy people?
They can't hear it.
Yeah,
I
know.
know.
I'm
You gotta
just
go
kidding.
and shove them away.
I
So
know.
basically, what I want to do is I want to draw the attention of anything that didn't go to sleep outside of camp in my direction.
The horses are gonna murder you.
I actually do know that you have to actually force them awake. They won't wake from sound.
Are you
but-
moving yourself around? You've been there.
No, I want to actually dismount at this point and start heading through the.
Okay, so I am going to drop unconscious onto 2 guys that get hit, and so one of the guys that you see does not go to sleep, Krieg, but you hear somebody in the tent kind of just lop over and fall asleep as your mist goes everywhere, bringing sleep about. Why doesn't everybody go ahead and give me an init? And yes, I have Conan Ananda on the initiative tracker.
Looks like my init didn't. Let's try that again. There we go. Bounce up. 10.
We're
Wow.
rocking it.
I
2,
think
a
if
1,
we're-
and an 8. Nice.
Yeah, I think if we're playing baseball, I think they just they're gonna get a few rounds on us.
And as this is going on, what is Thorad doing? I assumed you dismounted quite a while ago.
Yeah, I dismounted basically when Gidney got into the middle of those horses. So my I'm going to basically start towards the opening of one of the tents with my axe ready.
Go ahead and do that by all means. The other 2 have taken their surprise round actions.
Okay, I'm just gonna be basically next to the tent flap, so as they come out, whack. I'm not gonna walk in front of it, but next to it, and I'll be ready
Okay, so
if any of them come out.
we are starting. This guy, Thread, you can see somebody poke his head out, and he's like, "What's up with the horses?" As they are riling themselves up.
They may take our lives, they'll never take our freedom.
Horse going. I am just kind of randomly rolling
Oh,
which
my
way the
lord.
horse runs. That horse runs away.
Coward!
Thorad, this guy is coming out. He is does not have his weapon out or anything like that.
Okay, I'm gonna whack him.
And he sees you with a start.
If you would let me,
Yeah.
I'll have that.
Yeah.
Ready. Okay,
That's basically going to be your action for this round, but
that's fine. That's fine with me.
you have advantage because he's totally not expecting somebody to be there.
Awesome. And I'm gonna be one-handing it because I want my shield up. Nice. I hit him.
Good solid hit. What are you using? A battle axe?
I'm using a battle axe, yes. I rolled cruddy. I only did 8.
Well, that is enough. He hits the ground with a gurgle, but not a yell out, even though you startled him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he doesn't really alert other people.
Is the guy behind him in the same tent, right behind him? Like, would I be able to reach?
No. The guy's a bit further back in that tent.
Okay.
These tents are, like I said, they're not small tents.
Yes, then I'm
Go ahead
done.
and get rid of that guy. Let's randomize where our next horse is going. Okay. This horse takes off at a gallop, trampling the guy that you just put to sleep. So let me bring that up. Krieg, it runs right past you. You realize that these horses are going for freedom. They're not really concerned about who is in their way. So you guys might have a great deal of chaos on your hands that will benefit you. That might also prove to be fairly problematic for you. And he is going to come up to this guy, and the horse tries to run the guy down. The guy is able to get out of the way, and the horse continues on along the wall.
Horse. This is
The
gonna get
next
painful.
horse.
This is gonna start getting crazy and painful.
Sorry, guys.
This horse is going to head out, running towards the beating of the drums. The drums of
Are you apologizing to us or the horses, Gidney?
Oh, the horses.
Okay.
The camp is definitely realizing something's going on. This guy pops out and then just like not seeing you yet, all of a sudden sees the guy down and sees the one that got trampled by Krieg, and he's like, "Horses are going crazy, y'all!" And then he kind of jerks, sees you, and goes to grab his long sword out. Next horsey, this one takes off away from all of this. Next horsey, Krieg. This one comes up to you as it is running and body checks at you. You are able to dodge out of the way of it as it runs, and then it comes to this, and it's going to try and get through these two tents. And Alice, the guy that's going for his sword, all of a sudden gets body checked by a horse. His sword goes flying from him. He hits the ground, and the horse comes through here.
Nice. That might have just saved me a little damage. Who knows? Next
Yeah.
horse.
Nope, not next horse. This one's a raider.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, viewers, like if there's dead air, I just want you to see that there is this very long list before it gets to any of us.
Yeah, I think that there's 18 horses in this.
And at least 11 raiders.
And
yes.
all of us rolled really low. I'm not sure.
I can't get much lower than that.
Gidney doesn't even have a roll on here. Neither does Francis, Marcel, or Tito.
Gidney didn't even warrant a roll.
I didn't need a roll. I have 18 horses, man. For sure. Let me roll.
This guy runs up and tries to grab the horse. He doesn't have any success really in trying to grab onto the horse and get it to calm down. The way this is, the group has a lot of cover from most of the camp, and so the guys aren't fully aware of exactly what's going on, as sounds of loud trampling horses are the loudest thing here.
Well, that's when we light a cigar and say, I love it when a plan comes together, right?
I love it when I don't get trampled to death.
I know. Me too. We have so much in common.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the trampling zone, though.
I know. I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying
Look on the bright side of life.
Well, I'm trying to stay covered on the tent because hopefully it's going to be a little less likely. Since
There's
the
my awesome
big
initiative.
tent. Awesome initiative.
Nice. You're right in there with the rest of us then.
I'm
Yeah,
the
a 1, a 2, and a 3.
I just may stand there and watch this massacre and build a plaque in your honor after you're all dead.
So, Brandon, his initiative didn't go in automatically, so you'll have to drop it in because he didn't roll it as a...
It's a D20.
I know. No, I'm just saying it didn't go in the combat tracker, so Brandon...
No, Brandon doesn't have to do nothing.
Giddy doesn't have to do anything either. He just stands.
He's at the end of the combat.
Yep.
I don't think it's making much of a difference based on
Based on the way it's rolling? Yeah, I know, right? This is fun.
another horse runs out towards freedom, away from all of this. This guy though is our first threat to the group. So he is not really realizing how bad things are. Really, he is gonna come up to you. I don't know what your problem is, friend, but you're gonna regret coming here. And he is going to grab his longsword out and take a swipe at Krieg.
Ooh.
The hit.
It's a good hit, unfortunately.
He lashes out, getting a solid hit on Krieg as the potion water is going everywhere. Krieg needs to learn the say it, don't spray it rule. He lashes out, and Krieg, you feel the cut come into your clothing. Does damage, and you're definitely smarting from it. You hope that horses will soon run this man down.
Next.
Yep, another horse ran away. Most of them are definitely running away on their numbers. Another horse runs away. There was not a solid horse plan other than let's go, guys.
I know. I noticed.
This is the third one that is going straight south in a row. 3 horse initiatives, 3 straight south. Thorad, you took your action to gun down somebody already.
Yep.
Apparently, enemies is subjective.
They latched onto the freedom part. This guy is coming.
Hey.
He bounds between Krieg and the enemy attacking Krieg. They get pushed aside before he runs through and tramples the tent. Go and open that up.
I just gotta say though, with the amount of raiders here, I'm glad that we have some horses somewhat on our side.
Yeah.
And then he tramples to probably death. Yes, to death. The sleeping guy inside.
I love it.
So that tent right there, I opened it up so it won't block line of sight, and so everybody can can see through it, and it is no longer standing as that horse went through.
Oh, awesome.
Well, this horse runs into the wall and then realizes that's not the way to go, and then starts slowly following the wall. So only gets to there. It's not the brightest horse.
That line of sight opening seemed pretty easy and quick. That's really nice.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. This one, another one goes straight south. This is my most common number on my D8 randomization is the 5.
Mhm.
Funny. This raider is getting out of the way. We have another one run up to the wall and bounce off. And where does he go after that? Then he starts going the other way, so he's out of here too. Okay. So many horses. What are you guys all thinking during this stampede of horses?
Oh my God! Here they come again. Oh, good, they got that one. Oh no!
I'm watching in awe.
Yeah.
You guys didn't realize quite how effective Gidney's plan was going to be.
Excuse me, I'm the one that egged him on that plan.
Sure.
I'm the one that lit the little flame in his troublesome heart.
So Conan Ananda is actually a member of the horse clans of Reem, and so he's a member of both the Wanderers. He was kind of brought into Mama Bobo's group of misfits, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And he had formerly been a tribal member of the Stonewalkers, which is a Reemish clan that is basically a nomadic group of people that wander the grasslands of Reem, also sometimes pronounced Reme. So his clan was decimated when the Quick Knives basically invaded their camp and then lit the prairie on fire, destroying everything and killing everybody in the camp. In the meantime, poor Conan, he was miles away above that in the hills collecting rocks, and he watched the entire grasslands become an inferno. So the Stonewalkers is pretty much decimated, unfortunately. So that Reemish clan is wiped out, and he is one of the last known survivors of it. And so he's basically wandering now, trying to go and find himself and try to understand what could have driven the Quick Knives to such evil and violence. And because really they're just another clan, and so they're family, but not the good family. They're the other. There's that part of the family that you just don't talk about very much.
So you're Kane
Krieg.
from Kung Fu?
Right,
So you're Kane from Kung Fu, the show?
Sure, I have.
You are.
So, Krieg, you got knocked to the ground. I think that you can stand up for the move action and then still have a standard action like cast spells and such.
Okay. Can I move one space over here so I can see this guy? Can
Allow it?
As standing, can I go one square?
I'm going to allow it.
I will. There's that guy that was knocked by the horse. I will attempt to strike him with my quarterstaff. Can I do that?
Give me
Can
your
I
swings.
attack?
Yep, swing bada bada. Oh,
So I do damage now?
not sure. It's only 1 point of difference. You had advantage for some reason on that, but you shouldn't have. Oh, maybe it's because he's prone. That's why. Haha. Yep, go ahead and roll your damage.
And do I drag it to the person or just throw it in the tray?
Drag it to the person is the easiest because then it'll just resolve right onto him.
See, like it even gave you the prone.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that guy got knocked down.
Did it do it?
Nope.
I'll try it again. It's just disappearing.
Roll
So
the dice
D6.
and I'll drag it over.
D6 plus 1. That'll be a 5.
Use your quarterstaff, and I'll go ahead and give you your roll. Blah, blah, blah. Well, fine. I'll give it that. I'm tired of trying. Blam.
See if you can get 4 to come up.
Yeah. But yeah, worst case, if you just roll your die, then I can drag it onto the appropriate target. That's Krieg. Conan Ananda. Mass chaos. Horses are running everywhere. People are getting trampled in there. You're beating the drum, catching some of the people in the encampment's attention. They're out there looking, not really realizing how much danger they're currently in, as an oncoming wave of horses is washing through camp, trampling tents and people. They've killed. They will kill again. What's your action, Conan Ananda?
I'm going to look for a likely target that might be targeting one of the party members that's out there right now. So I think there was somebody that was attacking Krieg earlier. I'd like to go and toss a javelin in that person's direction.
He has been trampled to death. The only person that's like engaged that is on their side of the wall of horses that is out rushing through is the person Krieg is now beating on while he's prone. And
no, I'm engaged.
Thorad is right next to him.
Yep. Oh,
yeah, you're engaged with the same guy.
Okay, so it looks like that one's pretty much taken care of. I'm going to look for one of the others that's kind of like looking around in bewilderment, and I'm hoping that a javelin coming out of the bushes is going to grab their attention as well, because that way they're definitely looking in my direction and not paying attention to the rest of the party. And then the wave of horses, I'm hoping, is going to go to their direction, and I'm going to go and pray to the god of go that direction for the horse.
In D&D 5, when you're at range, at the second range increment, is that disadvantage on your attack?
Sure.
All right, so go ahead and take your javelin chuck with disadvantage. I dropped you on the map. Are you seeing stuff now?
I can. So I can see a couple of raiders there. I'm going to go for, I think, number 11.
And that is not your tactical position on the map. You're well back, and so that's the reason you're going to be chucking at range. You can be moving up while you're doing this if you want to.
No, but there's a javelin that comes flying out of the bushes from the direction of the sound of the drum. Probably plants itself squarely in the middle of all three of them, so they can.
It has no chance of hitting any of them with the roll, but they know somebody's chucking javelins out that way. I got rid of most of the horses because I actually had a party member I could pass it to, and so I randomized. And so this guy, and we'll say this is the one that Gidney jumped on top of, and so he is running straight this way, and he's going to go over into the trampled on pathway behind his friend.
Freedom!
And Gidney.
I mean, I've done so much already. I guess I could do something else.
You could produce flame at the guy on the ground there and, jump on him while shoving fire into his various orifices.
I'm highly thinking about it. It is a signature. You know what? We're going for it.
Awesome.
Yeah!
So go ahead and give me your produce flame attack roll.
Okay. Drag and drop it on him, correct?
By the little sword and drop that over on the guy. And if that's too much trouble for you guys, I can generally do it pretty quick if you just roll the attack by clicking the sword. Or I can always drag it to the target as long as I have a clue who you're hitting.
Guys, south of clicking the sword or the magnifying glass. I see.
Sword, and then it says attack, ATK.
Didn't
Gidney lights the tents on fire.
Woo!
There's now a flaming tent behind him and a flaming tent in front of him. Gidney, you are now standing in a world of flame. Flames and horses.
We appreciate that.
Everything's fine. Everything's normal.
Nothing to see here. Move right along.
Round 2. Fight!
Oh my gosh, now everyone rolled high but me.
Alright, let me go ahead and open that up as it starts to burn to the ground.
I did a thing. I hope there's babies inside.
This horse is going to go ahead and run. We're going to trample that one, and he's going to get out. Okay, Krieg!
Alright, Krieg will...
Kidney thought there needed to be more chaos here, and so now you're standing with flames on both sides.
I'm going to use the quarterstaff again, and I think I figured out how to do this.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's really intuitive once you learn. This time the guy is like, fire! And he's rolling away. You catch him just as he's rolling away, so you get a glancing blow on him. He lets out a yelp of pain. Come on!
So I keep rushing forward, and I'm going to go and throw another javelin and see what I can go and hit now. Number 11 again. We're doing better this time.
Awesome. Javelin flies out, strikes him. Let's see that damage. Yes.
Solid hit.
Solid.
6 plus 3 is 9. It drives through his shoulder and pins him to the ground.
He's coming out of his tent. He's got horses around him. He is gonna try and get the heck out of there. So his situation, I'm gonna make an athletics. He made a pretty good roll, so he will go ahead and get to vacate down to here, running away from this oncoming wall of horses. Raider 2. I'm gonna just make this guy make perception. Where do I find that? There. You're not exactly hidden at this point, but just to see if he figured out where you are. He sees you coming up, and what does the wall of horses look like? So yes, he pulls out his short bow and ranking short bow. Does anybody have that range? 8120. How close are you at this point? Said I was just dropping you on the map to give you a general idea.
Right. I'm probably sitting about, because 120 is my longest range, 30 is within throwing. So I'd say I'm probably sitting about, say, 50 or so.
So he is going to go ahead and let off a shot towards you. Is going to hit. Oh, one good roll deserves another.
Exactly.
If you die again.
Hey.
This guy is
Every game, man. You guys gotta be level 10 and I'm still gonna be level 1.
Steven's gonna be the new Paul. Oh my gosh.
I sure hope not.
Do we get to call him somebody too?
This guy runs up here as the bandit that is hidden by the cave is calling for all of them to get the heck out of the way. There's fire, there's horses. I'm gonna make this guy make an athletics check. This is just mass pandemonium everywhere.
I hope the locusts are next.
Cats and dogs.
Welcome to 2020, bandits. He got a natural 20 on his roll. I'm gonna let him get around this tent and get over, aware that something else is going on, and he's gonna take a shot over at Thorad here. Missed. This horse is going to go ahead and trample. He gets out of the way. Sadly, he has a lot more horse to get out of the way of. This horse comes over and is going to trample this dude as well.
So many trampled.
Okay. So the guy that just shot at you, you just all of a sudden see a horse come up, totally unaware of it, knock him over, and just bludgeon him to death. So your plan absolutely worked.
Damage at 2 points.
I love the look on Pex's face when I made the suggestion of, what do you think of them being in prison like this? And he's like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be awesome. The face is, we should memorialize that facial expression that he had, because I think this is what happened. This is exactly what he thought in his mind.
Poster child for horse freedom.
Every character waits for that one moment in game. This is that moment.
It worked out really well.
Okay, the guy that you pinned to the ground gets trampled by another horse, and he is an ex-bandit as well.
Well, Gidney did say that the horses have been saving our lives. Horses are better adventurers than we are.
I could not believe that, and this guy, he made 2 in a row, but he failed his third. I could not believe the amount of war horses that were in these opening encounters, and just, they're vicious. I mean, they're natural-born killers.
Speak with the animals never been so useful.
It's probably the most powerful spell in 5th edition right now.
Apparently. Oh, look, another corral of, I don't know, bulls. Okay, let's do this.
Exactly.
Gidney, I think it's your round.
I'm gonna
Light another tent on fire?
Oh yeah, they're gonna do this. Don't know why I rolled 2 dice.
He's prone still.
Oh. Okay.
So you hit, go ahead and do your damage to him. He gets struck by Krieg's quarterstaff twice, Krieg doing a great showing, and then Gidney shoves his little gnomish hands into him.
Gidney actually had disadvantage, not advantage. It says DIS, and it's a red die, not green die, so he dropped the knight. I don't know why he has disadvantage.
Because it's a ranged attack, so that's probably...
Yeah, ranged attack and melee, true.
Gidney doesn't care.
He did.
He did.
Gidney, you can move.
Oh! Why not? Okay.
Get on the other side of the guy I'm on. That way I get advantage on it. Please.
I don't know if I can because the tent's still up.
In 5th Ed, isn't it just if you have somebody else in melee?
Oh, that's true. Just get in melee with them. Step in.
Yeah,
I can get advantage.
Diagonal like it was before. It's just in combat. You're.
Yep.
Okay.
Now it's in combat, not flank anymore. They made it easier.
What it is.
Yep,
so they're engaged because you go and kind of move around constantly. So there's really not a flanking kind of move.
Yep.
Every 6 seconds only.
Yeah. So go step up next to me, and then I'll be able to, and we'll have advantage. Woohoo!
Step up to the streets.
Thank you.
Another horse. This one is just going to get out of here as he used to run.
Be right back.
This one will give a chance to get that guy. He technically failed, but I was giving him a bonus because the horse has got a fair amount of room to go. So he is out of there. This guy, see what his line of sight is. I'm gonna give him a wisdom check to see if he's aware of you guys versus something crazy is going on. He didn't roll that well, so he still thinks that just the horses went berserk at something.
Okay,
Thorad.
my turn. I am going to beat the snot out of this guy next to me, I hope. So taking advantage, and let's roll on.
He's got the flaming gnome next to him.
I'm glad I had advantage. I hit. Let's see what damage I do to him.
Go ahead and tell me what it looks like there, Thorad.
So Gidney runs up with fire. Apparently he's like, oh my gosh, fire! He dodges right into the blade of my axe as it cleaves right into his neck and just kind of chops him down diagonally across his chest as he's throwing himself into my axe by accident as I'm throwing my axe down on him.
Sorry.
And the flaming gnome. If I ever open a tavern, that's what I'm calling it.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's a band name.
But whew, I did a lot of damage on that one. Oh, and I still need to move. I get to move after.
Go for it. Go ahead for it.
Okay, so I see somebody there at that point, so I'll stand there.
Cool. Aye. And he sees you. Why? I think you behind all this. You gonna pay. He grabs his longsword as he moves up to you.
Sure.
Stinking stunties. And he does not have the combat prowess and training guy. This guy, similarly, becoming aware of what is really going on here, lets off a shot over at Thorad, and that is a miss. The bloodline Uthanar is strong one.
Mm-hmm. Got me Pop's sword, got me Pop's axe, and got me Pop's shield, so... Yep.
You're only using a small shield?
Nope, let me go check my shield.
Because that's what Artie used. Aye, Conan Ananda.
Aye. So what do we have left?
I'm
There's
using
a couple
Chaos
over
and
there
fire.
Is there anybody running for the cave entrance?
There's two guys that are heading over that way. One of them just started shooting over towards where Thorad is. I've got the arrow. The other guy that's just a little bit south of him is also heading that way.
Okay, I'm going to go and shoot. I'm going to throw my last. Wait a minute. It was 1, 2.
This will be your third throw.
Okay, so I'm going to throw another javelin at the closest one. So it's just north of Raider number 9.
Sure. So if you take your move beforehand, just go ahead and put yourself within 30 feet, and we can call that good.
I think that's 30 there.
You see, and Kanananon, go ahead and describe actually what Thorad is seeing as you hit the field.
So this is a pretty. Gotta go find my picture again. No, this is important.
It is.
I lost my picture.
Not in what I look like. It's been so long since I had a mirror.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. Okay, so I can't find the picture. So
Okay.
basically, he's a half orc wearing chainmail, and he's just running at a full sprint across the camp and dodging between the horses with javelins. He's pulling it off of his back and just throwing it at another one of the bandits here in the camp as he runs across the camp and is trying to go and catch those before they can get to the cave entrance. So let's go ahead and roll on that guy now. 12, I'm not sure.
Nope, didn't hit, unfortunately.
No, but he made an attempt. He's going to keep he's going to keep running at him.
He was so close. Thorad, you are up again.
Okay, I will whack this guy.
Wackadoo.
Wackadoo. There we go. And whack him. Oh, bottomed out on damage. I do
Same result.
Yep, I do a bit of damage. I'm done.
Alright, tell us what it looks like that time.
That time he's swinging his sword at me, and as he just whiffed and continued like like a bat continued downwards, I just raised my axe over the back of his over his back and slammed into his vertebrae in the back of his spine, and he just goes down.
He's like, oh, that really hurt. I mean, not like as much as I thought it would be, but that hurt. And then he sees his blood on his hand as he reaches, and then just passes out.
Yep.
Since you bottomed out on damage.
Yep. Oh, and I get to move.
Oh, go ahead. You're always the very slow on the moving, so I'm sorry I moved past you.
Forgot. No, that's my fault.
Understandable, but
I'm done.
that's why I moved past you, so I apologize for
No,
that.
I apologize for forgetting to move.
This guy is going to move back to there and let a shot off over at Thorad. Missed. Thorad's got a great AC, I'm guessing.
18.
Krieg!
And then we can.
You're still in the middle of fire. These tents are burninating to the ground.
So let's see. I have a speed of 30. So is that like 6 of these squares?
Yeah. If you do 2 diagonals, that would basically count as 3 squares. And you don't need to avoid the tents. You can just sprint through the fire if you want.
Okay.
Ooh, sprint.
And that's a single move. You can move again if you want, but I'm not certain if you want to get out in front without having a retaliation.
Right.
Quick question about the half orc that just stepped onto the field with us. Would I recognize him?
60 feet. You can you can shoot your throw your ray of frost.
I will ray of frost. Greater 5.
Krieg moves up, pulling another vial out, shaking it up as he combines two components and then chucks it. You hit. Give me some damage.
Nice.
The guy yelps as a bunch of ice runs up his arms. And Gidney.
What page is the move?
What do you need to know?
First page.
What do you need to know? You move before or after your action? What else do you
I
need
think
to know?
he just means how far does his character
How far
move.
can I move?
He's looking
Small,
for distance.
25.
25?
25 or smalls now.
I believe that is correct.
It's 25 or 30
Yeah,
now.
25. It's in the AC line, so it's kind of towards the middle, but AC, initiative, and then speed, 25.
Steven,
Oh, thank you.
quick question. Would I recognize you from Mama Bobo's camp as having someone that we mingled with so that I don't want to strike you? Well,
You
you're a
might
stun.
have.
Okay.
I don't know. I was around the camp, but I wasn't really necessarily engaging.
Okay.
Um,
And plus, you're not
But then I-
human, which here humans enemy, so you're also safer than that one.
but then I heard that you guys were heading out in that direction, and so I followed, but I was on foot, so it took me a little bit long.
I cast Shillelagh on Thor.
What?
I don't believe you
It
can.
requires club or quarterstaff to be targeted.
Yeah, I was like, unless they changed a lot about that spell, I don't think you can. One, I believe you can't even do it on somebody else's weapon unless they change that.
I think
It's
that's
personal.
what.
Yeah, shillelaghs are your own weapon. It has to be a club or a
Alice,
quarterstaff.
can I? I'm
Sure.
trying to read the spell. So remember, you can always hit the dragon. The wood of a club or quarterstaff you are holding is imbued with nature's power. For the duration, you can use your spellcasting ability instead of your strength for the attack and damage rolls of melee attacks using that weapon. And the weapon's damage die becomes D8. Oh my god, you'll be a monster. The weapon also becomes magical if it isn't already. The spell ends if you cast it again or let go of the weapon.
Oh my gosh, think about it. Yeah. So what we're saying is Nier is a viable build in 5e.
Okay, I do it to myself. Pull out I have one of them.
All you need is a stick of wood, dude.
Yep. All you need is a stick of wood.
That's a staff. There we go.
There you.
Very big stick of wood.
Don't. No, you're not going there.
Nan.
Oh, I'm at the top.
I love about randomizing initiative. Sometimes you're like, yay! I rolled high for once.
Ooh, that's 25. Nice. On my way there, I'm reaching behind me and pulling out my glaive. So it's kind of like this sweeping, rushing forward, and then it just kind of sweeps around in front of me as I reach him, and I'm gonna go for it.
So how does reach work in 5th edition?
I can go and hit anything within 10 instead of just 5.
Whackety whack.
That's
So-
solid hit. And with a cry, this guy drops to the ground, a bloody heap underneath your assault.
Just this fluid motion of this glaive just swinging in this circle as I kind of rush up, and I just kind of do a pirouette or whatever swingy circle thing.
Gidney,
I
go
can't
away.
hear Gidney. No, I can't hear Gidney. We're making a
I
push.
first hold my fancy new staff to Thorak. Want to use this?
I believe Brandon specifically read that the minute you drop it, it stops.
Drop.
Yep, as soon as you drop it, or, as soon as you give it away or drop it, as soon as it leaves your hands. Shillelagh classically has always been for that druid. I built a druid just to cast Shillelagh. It was fun.
Fine.
You're gonna have to charge in yourself.
You have to go in and attack yourself with yourself. Wag! Jump on it with whack, whack, whack.
Go at him with your walking stick.
I think that's
25 move gets you to that square.
Perfect.
So you could run up there and cast at him if you want. Produce your flame.
Woo!
You know what? I want to throw my stick at him.
Okay,
So disadvantage, I guess, or
sure.
As the spell is dispelling, it's gonna get one whack.
Yep.
I don't even care.
I know.
I want Gidney to take this guy out so bad right now.
I know, me too.
What am I rolling? Just a dex or?
No,
Just grab
is
your
it-
sling and roll that with disadvantage.
Fire in the hole.
Oh my gosh, I just had another funny image. All those faces on his rocks and all, and he just puts one of us into one of his slings and just starts shooting slingshots out. Yeah.
A bullet because you were throwing your stick at him. That's the reason there was the disadvantage. So I gave you your ammo back. I was watching. This guy turns and starts to head into the cave.
Stop him.
Happening.
Okay.
Thorad, go get him.
Hey Frog God fans, thank you so much for watching us today. Do you want to see more content? Make sure you subscribe and click that little bell button to be notified.
Don't forget to leave a comment about the content that you want to see on the channel. And if you want to keep up with Frog God Game releases, check out the links in the description below for Facebook, Twitter, and Discord.
And if you want to see more content from Brandon and myself, check us out on Babies with Knives podcast, where we focus on character creation, crash courses, and actual plays for a wide variety of tabletop role-playing games.
And everybody, remember, have fun in the pond.